Hello, peoples. I'm going to be getting started in just a minute. I'm actually running behind because I forgot to update the game clients on this computer to Ravenloft because we went live after Wednesday. So I'm actually in the midst. Oh, hey, there we go. Cool. So it'll be just a minute. So anyway, I'm going to be on Caneth today. I'm actually going to roll up a level 10 character because the only character I have on Caneth is like 18, which is too high for Ravenloft. Hello, AJ, Blood Dagger, Danalea, Warcane, Wanatuk. So anyway, I will be rolling up a character and then doing the Ravenloft stuff on Caneth. I thought maybe I would make an Aasimar Paladin, just kind of something fairly easy. Wow, 108 people on Facebook? What the heck, man? How y'all doing? Very nice. Like the sweater? Yeah, this sweater is awesome. Let me kind of show it to you if I can. Isn't that rad? Yeah, it's a holiday sweater with a beholder on it. I picked that up at TwitchCon, I guess, a couple of years ago. I like to bring it out every holiday season. Customize. I'm going to be an Aasimar. I mean, like I said, I'm just going to make a pretty quick build here. Something pretty, standard. Alright, good enough. Self a little concentration, Diplo. Actually, let me get rid of the heal. Get myself jump. Okay. I'm gonna be a Fallen. Let's see. I'm not gonna be using quarterstaves. I'm a Paladin, not sickles. Could do Warhammer. Probably not gonna do dagger. I guess I could just do Sovereign Host, because, And I guess for the first feat, I will probably take Power Attack. Alright, good enough. Hair color, why don't we make it red? Hairstyle, do that. Eye color. Oh, actually, eye color doesn't really work because I'm an Aasimar. Good enough. Lips are okay. Yeah, that's pretty rad. Alright, skin color, should I be blue? Green? Gold? Yellow? Yeah, that'll work. Lip color, how metallic do I want to be? Should work. What should I do for a character name? Let's see. Character name will be... I'll get to your questions in just a second. I gotta think of a character name. I already have Mock Duck, so how about Mock Dale? Nope, I already took that. Do I have a Gugmoggle on here? Okay, I do. What a Satan. Nope, I already have that as well. This is what I happened. This is what I do. How about Friday? Nice. Ah, nope. Bean paste. There we go. Good enough. All right. Hello, Forehand. Let me get to those questions. With a hot fix, when it comes, will people that got an epic weapon on heroic, will they get another weapon of level? That is likely. I need to double check on that. Ultimately, we'll find out. But that's likely because, and the reason for that is if you picked up an epic weapon, you would have used up your chance on the epic one weapon vendor. But when we bring in the heroic weapon vendor, that shouldn't impact your usage already. So you should be good there. Speaking of the hotfix, so we had actually intended to have a hotfix this morning, but unfortunately we had to change that because an issue came up overnight. QA was frankly working into the night on this, so were the devs, and so we didn't get our build kicked off until, 8, 9 o'clock, something like that. And by the time it was around, I guess, 1, 2 in the morning that they were able to QA the build, and they found a blocker. Something had fallen out of data that we just couldn't go live with. So unfortunately, our hotfix for today had to get postponed after this afternoon. Actually, probably this hour, except I'm on the live stream. People are talking about what we're going to do in terms of the when and all that sort of thing. So hopefully we'll have more information for you fairly soon in regard to what our hotfix plan is. Thankfully, even though we do have a hotfix in the works, I don't know, do I want to say that? Okay, so we have things that we need to hotfix. But overall, I think we can scrape by this weekend, I think, if we need to. But we'll see. We may not need to. We'll see how things go today. So I'm basically starting at level 10 here. Whether you are a free-to-play account, premium account, or VIP, you will be able to do this through December 17th. It'll be shut off the morning of December 18th. I thought I would go sword and board on this particular character here. As a paladin, I tend to find having a high AC is pretty good. I could get tower shield proficiency. Improved shield mastery is not bad either. Improved turning isn't bad. Oh, I should get improved crit and do slash weapons. Alright, I'm going to spend my action points. Do I want anything in the Aasimar? Yeah, the 2-hit damage would be useful. So let me bop into that. Get myself a bit more strength. Tactics GCs won't hurt. Don't really need that. Divine Purpose. Definitely want my wings. Yeah, I can skip that. What else should I spend my points on? How about get myself some healing amp, get my Ascendant Bond. Ooh, Bastard Sword. Quick Draw. Oh, hey, I'll just get my Tower Shield from here. Okay. Good enough. And I've got some action points left. I should probably be... if I'm going to be Shield, Sword, and Board, guess I should be Vanguard. Alright, good enough. Let me pick up my gear. So you do get some starting equipment here. It's not super great, but it's enough to get you started. Hopefully we got... Looks like maybe we didn't give you enough... We don't have Fort. That's a problem. Of course, I got a bunch of junk because of who I am. Oh, my racial tome. Alright, so let me get to our questions again. So with the hotfix, I can go over the notes, but we actually published our plans for the hotfix last night. So if you want to go to the downtime thread, you will see what we have. For skill tome, I will take... I wanted the +3 is going to be jump, so why don't I do spellcraft just for the heck of it. And these two will be concentration and jump. Any news on when the Vistani tree will be available in the DDO store? We have got that information available in our FAQ. So if you go to the Ravenloft release notes, click on over to the FAQ, you will see it. I can't remember what we said. I think, did we say March? I think we said March, and we even gave you the point total for it as well. So you should be good in terms of finding out all the information you might need about that. Can you get the class icons for a character sheet for DDO past lives? I'm pretty sure the DDO Wiki's got that information for you. Oh, I already own it. Okay. So yeah, find it on the DDO Wiki. I'm pretty sure that's going to get you covered. Man. Already own that as well. All right. Thank you, Forehand. So we have been honored, humbled, happy, proud, financially rewarded. All the good things about Ravenloft since it came out this week. We've been receiving overwhelmingly positive comments from the community, from our players, from people who play pen and paper. all sorts of things, and that does our heart a lot of good because it's not always easy to take a big risk like this, and Ravenloft is a biggie, and we really wanted to make sure that we did it right. And at least from what we're hearing from you folks, sounds like we've managed to do that. Frankly, I knew that the content team was making killer content. You know, I see a lot of this stuff before it goes live, and I've just been kind of blown away by what I've been seeing up until this point. So I had a feeling that this was how it was going to go, that when we actually went live with Ravenloft, it was going to be very well received. And I'm glad to see that that is indeed the case. So yeah, this Vet Status 3 thing does go until the 10th. I know that there will at least be some of you who are probably going to be like, let me just start rolling up characters on character slots. You are welcome to do that. No problems there. What are those letter things? So back in the day, this was for PAX East. We got a bonus reward ticket. If you speak to the guy in the harbor, you'll get a thing. You know, some consumables and stuff. That was from PAX East 2012, I believe. And it's granted on every character. I threw away my starter rags. Yeah, I get it a lot, you know. Alright, so one of the quests in Ravenloft on Heroic did give us a big problem. It's the level 12 quest. I can't think of the name, but the one with the lightning rods. We're unable to move and fight in that quest. It's a bummer. We do have some bugs we're working on. Anyway, to upgrade a Collector's Edition Ravenloft 2 Ultimate, we do not offer a discount for upgrade, but if you do wish to purchase a higher tier, it will apply to your account. Because I am just very first life, I'm going to go in on normal to get through this. I'll get spells later. I don't need no stinking spells. No. Yeah, I'll deal with it later. I do want to turn off hints, though. Frankly, I wish we would show, or somehow recognize that you're a veteran player and then turn off hints automatically. But whatever. How did Mist compare to Mordor? Frankly, they were both have been very successful for us so far. They each offer their own kind of unique benefits. So this computer has a hard time with frills. So I'm going to show you how you can turn down your frills here in the advanced graphics. There's frill density, which you can turn down. I'm going to turn down the frill density, and I'm going to turn the frill distance excuse me, to medium. And hopefully that'll improve the frame rate in this area here a little bit.
You stumble through the thick mists, only to find yourself on an unfamiliar forest road. You spot them. The corpse has clearly been dead for several days. The clothes are torn.
I like how the mists will teleport you.
A crumpled letter is clutched in its hands.
On Sorrow Dust, the oilskin armor is leather, but oilskin is a type of waterproof cloth. It's been bugging me for a while. Yeah, I can understand that. Oh, do I think Menace of the Underdark will make it into the in-game store for December sales? Yes. Fingers crossed. This isn't a done deal yet. But fingers crossed, if everything works out here, we should be set to offer it very soon. The hotfix had the absolute last piece that we needed to get in place in order, assuming it works out. The hotfix had the final piece in place we needed to be able to offer it in the in-game store. So assuming that that was checked in successfully and that works, once we go live with the hotfix, we're going to do a double check of it. And assuming that all works out, we should be able to offer Menace of the Underdark in the DDO store in the very near future.
Why would someone put so many scarecrows to guard a road in the middle of the forest? What do these...
My new computer at home will run it on Max? Yeah, it will. Yeah, I've been running Ravenloft at home quite a bit. And this computer is actually pretty powerful, but I don't know if I need to update the graphics card or what the deal is, but for some reason it just does not like the frill density on this computer. So I'm actually going to disable that and see if that helps. Thank you, Dag.
You hear a branch snap behind you.
One of the things we're going to be doing is... actually, I'll go over the release notes here in a little bit. But
The scarecrow clatters to the ground. As you recover, you realize you can hear noise from up the road to the east, the same way you came.
there we go. We do have GMs currently in-game, so I'm not quite sure why you're experiencing that. When is the hotfix going out? I will have more information on that as soon as I know. That we met this morning, once everyone got into the office, kind of reviewed what went wrong overnight with the build, had the devs do whatever work they need to do. That work is, at least as of when I was heading into the room here, that work was still ongoing. So we're going to kick off a new build for the hotfix. I don't know what the timeline is, though, in terms of when that's going to be getting out. But it should be, you know, we're going to have to make a determination. You know, typically we try not to do these kind of things on weekends for a couple of reasons. If something goes wrong, it can be a problem. Also, frankly, it's our busiest time. You know, a lot of you like to play on weekends, and that's fine. That's good. So that means that it has a kind of a big impact when we go down on weekends. So we're going to have to weigh how significant the hotfix stuff is and whether or not we should do that. And that conversation just hasn't taken place. But I'm calling up the release notes here just to sort of talk about what it is we're intending to fix. We're fixing an issue where the examination window is widening over time. Fixing an issue, this one is one of the big reasons why we're doing it, where the keystone is not consistently spawning in the quest Invitation to Dinner. There's been some thought about it is spawning, it's just spawning in a very weird place, but nonetheless it's causing problems, so we're going to be working that. We are also correcting an issue in the mist with the mist wall in Ravensbane that will prevent players from progressing past Baleful. This is something where you need to kind of not do it deliberately, but do it by accident. If you just go run through the quest normally, you probably won't run into this. But if you go through the mist wall in Ravensbane before you defeat Baleful, it can cause problems. We're lowering the number of wolves in Fresh Baked Dreams just because it's a little out of control. Some typo work. An energy drain spell attack, we're removing it in Heroic where it's being applied. Some mobs are doing an energy drain spell and they're just kind of spamming it, so we're getting rid of that. We are disabling Dimension Door and Mad Tea Party. The reason we're doing that is because if you cast Dimension Door at the wrong time in the wrong place, you can break the quest. This is kind of a short-term fix. We'll have to see what we need to do long-term, but at least for now, we're going to be disabling Dimension Door in the Mad Tea Party to fix this. Sealed in Amber, for some odd reason, sometimes had a PvP flag activated, meaning you couldn't heal each other and you would damage each other, and while incredibly rad, it was also causing problems. So we're going to be fixing that. Fixing an issue where the wrong level weapon would be bestowed on a player as part of the weapon giver encounter in the Barovian Wilderness area, as we talked about. That shouldn't impact people's ability to get the right NPC item. We found a couple more stacking effects bugs that we're going to be fixing. An issue with Half-Elf Vistani Knife Fighter, which was incorrectly T-posing. That's sort of a bad animation thing. Providing instructions on the tooltips for Sentient's toolkits, destroyers, and jewels. Correcting an issue in Assault on the Area of the Slave Lords. Yep, all the way back to that content, where Madame Eva would not move to open the secret passage. That was actually a thing because we have a Madame Eva in here, too. And it was causing some problems. Correcting some issues where Grave Rap's Antipody and some other things were not accepting sentience. Correcting an issue where the Arcane Archer critical multiplier was not applying consistently. By the way, until this hotfix goes live, if this is impacting you, you can unequip and re-equip the item, and it should last until logout that way. And then one other thing that I have heard is going in that wasn't in on Friday, but should be in now that we have another little bit more time on it, is shoot. I can't remember now. Let me look up my email. Brain fart. So I'm looking this up right now. It's kind of a biggie, that's why I want to include it. Let's see. Oh, we're working on the issue with particularly old operating systems. If you are pre-Windows 7, we've been seeing some reports of people crashing in the Barovian Wilderness area. We're working on that. And we are also working on an issue we think we might have discovered the cause of the hitching. Or at least one cause of the hitching. It had to do with the way the spell system was proccing things, which would fall in line with what people were experiencing and reporting. So, assuming that that actually solves the problem, then we should be good to hopefully finally crack that that problem. Welcome. Ideally, people should probably not be running on operating systems before Windows 7. I'm not telling you what to do. I am the official community manager, so I gotta be careful about that. But personally, if you're still running on XP or Vista, or Windows 8, you should probably update. Actually, for me, the lag in Wrath of the Earth is a new one, so I'm going to have to check with the QA team to see what they know about it. Dave has a question. Question about how weapon sentience works. Like, how do you get the sense that they're thinking for themselves? There is both audio and text that'll show up in your combat log, and that'll it's triggered randomly based on various conditions being met. Like, you kill a mob, you get killed, you pick up a quest. I mean, there's like dozens and dozens of various triggers in there that can randomly happen. And if you don't want that, if you're just like, yeah, that was fun, but no more, you can disable sentient weapon text or sounds independently. And if you want to adjust the audio, it is the user interface volume here that'll determine the volume of your sentient weapons. Is there or will there be a list explaining the sentient jewel personalities? No, there will not be. The intention is that this is something to find out for yourself. I'm sure shortly enough we'll be seeing videos and stuff on the forums, but we're not really planning to just drop all the infos on that.
What's the first thing I remember? It must be Papa, calling out my name. Irina! He'd shout whenever I wandered too far away from his side.
I tell you, this heroic weapon vendor is kind of... Get away from me, you rats.
He was afraid.
These weapons are rad, frankly. They're kind of insanely good. Ah, I am running into it. Look at that. How interesting. Very interesting. So I'm going to have to... I'm not going to pick a weapon right now, because as long as I've got this item up, I'm going to see if I can repro it on this character. This is the first time I personally have run into this. I wonder if it's an Aasimar thing. But I'll go back out into the area and zone back in on a different instance and see if it's an instance thing or if it's not. So, there you go. Normally I probably would just take the weapon, because figure out what you want eventually and then take it. But like I say, in this particular case, I want to leave myself in a state where I can repro. Oh, it's a feed, isn't it? Let's get Bond of the Fallen active. There. Now I can do my thing. The problem was that I'm being offered minimum level 29 items instead of minimum level 10 items. So I'm getting the sentient weapon item list rather than the intended heroic item list. Oh, you got it on your half-orc yesterday? Okay, so it's not a thing. I was asked whether it's intended that this guide automatically allow you to go to any of the locations even if you have not been there before. The answer to that is yes. And the reason for that is we know that the Ravenloft wilderness area is so large. We didn't want to... that if you're joining a group late or something like that, we didn't want to make you have to go all the way through the wilderness area in order to get your issues resolved. So, I don't think I've got really anything anywhere. Alright, well, I'll just have to go in with what I got. Oh, I should bind. It's actually quite nice, though, not having to have... Because you can kind of reverse engineer your way to figure out where the stuff is if you want to. You can just go ahead and teleport there, and then kind of work your way back. Yeah, that Barovian Tavern music is cool. It reminds me of Camper Van Beethoven. Anyone know who Camper Van Beethoven is? It reminds me of Camper Van Beethoven. I do not know which quest you can get the heroic freedom of movement boots. It's something I'm planning to work on, though. There was a thread on the forums about getting some assistance. There we go. Getting some assistance with the DDO wiki. And so I'm going to be looking up in our internal wikis to see if we specify what drops where I think we do. And assuming that's the case, I'm going to pass that along to the wiki peeps so that they can get this info too. They didn't even get us supper. You know, in some places they call it dinner.
Father said we weren't to make a fuss, but we're so hungry.
Nah, Flying Ace, I appreciate that some people want to have the benefit of finding this stuff out themselves. If that's you, that's fine. You don't have to actually do this stuff. You don't have to just teleport or use the NPC, but it's better to offer it than not. IMO.
Mother said she had to lock us in because there's a monster in the basement. They said we mustn't mind the noises. They said it was just grown-up things.
Just grown-up things. It's a little, I don't suppose you've got any way to, like, a detect secret doors clicky or anything, do you? How many personalities were created for sentient weapons? We have got 6. Currently 5 in game. And 1 really bad one that should be coming soon. Yes, I have voiced a sentient weapon. And it's going to be available in as a community giveaway in the relatively near future. It's actually a bit of a circuitous path to why this is being offered. Initially, yeah, I can't find this, unfortunately. Initially, I created a sentient weapon voice. I did a scratch track just for the development team to kind of test out sentient weapons. You know, have something they could actually hear and test against, set volumes on, and just kind of figure out the way it would all work in a practical environment. So I created a quick sentient weapon that was just kind of goofy and fun, and then somehow we committed to 6 sentient weapons in our Ravenloft page, even though we only had 5 weapons. So Guess who's going to be that 6th weapon for now, until we come up with a better one. That'll be me. So yes, I'm going to have a giveaway sentient weapon. In terms of what their personalities are, they're pretty descriptive in terms of the title of them, but otherwise we kind of want it to be a surprise. So, and once a couple of days go by, frankly, everyone's going to know all this stuff, so should be a non-issue. Yeah, Macubre, we have definitely heard the feedback on a kobold sentient weapon voice. It would make a lot of sense. We'll have to figure out kind of how we want to do it lore-wise and all that. But,
We must have been naughty.
yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Or they wouldn't be so angry all the time.
I don't actually know why I'm reading these notes. I can't. I'm not going to be able to get that last one. But whatevs. For immersion. Does one need to purchase the expansion in order to get a sentient weapon? Kind of. When that community giveaway item comes out, when you can get my sentient jewel, which isn't technically me, I'm playing a character, but when that community giveaway sentient jewel is around, then technically you'll be able to get a sentient jewel without having Ravenloft. And then you'd be able to apply that jewel to a sentient weapon to level it up. That said, you're not going to get any filigree for now because all the filigree is in Ravenloft. So while technically you can get a sentient weapon soon without having Ravenloft, you're not really going to be able to do anything with it until you get Ravenloft. And that may change in the future here. But at least for now, all the sentient jewels and filigree are in Ravenloft.
We're tired. We've been here so long. We want to rest.
The Ravenloft pack doesn't say anything about Vistani for DDO points? I'm pretty sure it does. Let me call that out.
Tired. We want to rest now. You found the secret door. It leads down to the basement, where the monster is.
Oh, you're right. It doesn't say Vistani. I don't know if that's the intention then. If the intention is simply to have Vistani be a favor unlock or purchase, it is going to be in the DDO store. I could have sworn I saw it on the forums, at least, where we talked about some player had the info, so clearly we must have put it out there at some point. But I'm not sure what the dealio is. Gustav Durst.
You gently place the bones inside the coffins.
Much better.
The distant voice seems
There's a
pleased.
pretty nasty trap in here. I hope it doesn't kill me.
Here, once you get rid of the monster in the basement.
How will you be able to get the sentient weapon jewel that I voiced? Well, you can't yet, because it's not yet in the game. But the intention is it'll probably be in the game with our next patch. And it'll be a giveaway. So I will be able to give it out to people for community giveaways and what have you. And I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do that yet. But we shall see. Yeah, 495 points according to the wiki for or favor unlock. Okay, so if the wiki's got it, then clearly it must have been put out there somehow. I just don't know how. Oh, yeah, there's the passage, but we got to get the other two yet. Oh, that was the Lamania price? Well, yeah, that may not be accurate then. I don't know. I'll look into that. I'll figure that out. And add it to the fact today if I can get a good answer from our e-commerce team on it. I could have sworn we had already done that. Oh, there's the other one. Yeah, I know where I'm going. Okay, this is the trap.
This sturdy door is locked up tight.
No!
Perhaps you can find
I
a
chose
key.
poorly. Oops. I highly doubt everybody wants to hear me as a sentient weapon. As a matter of fact, I know there are some folks who are probably going, oh god. They're not wrong. But it was fun. It was fun. I think it's going to be kind of... It's a bit of a joke weapon, because of course it is, because I'm doing it. But, like, it's not a heroic guy. It's kind of the opposite. Because, you know, that's just how I think. Oh, yeah, I got plenty of room in the party. Although I'm only playing for another 10 minutes or so, so... Because I do need to get back to the hotfix. And I want to get the items to the Sentient, or to the DDO Wiki folks, and I will put on my to-do list for this afternoon to check into Vistani and make sure that we've got that stuff. Oh, Roderick Nettle would be nice. Yeah, I agree. So Kevin over on YouTube says if you've played the pen and paper campaign, then Death House should be very cool and familiar to you. And I agree. So if you look at, say, the first edition Ravenloft, the second, third, you know, even the like Curse of Strahd book, that sort of thing, you will find a lot of similarities between that, and this. Frankly, one of the things that I am most happy with the way the team made it work, they really were able to bring pretty successfully, in my opinion, the pen and paper experience to Ravenloft. Some of the, like, if you go into Castle Ravenloft and you've got, say, the Curse of Strahd book with you, it's literally 1-to-1. I mean, you can just, boom, it's there. Alright, so now we need to go back. Am I still working on sending out Movember stuff? As a matter of fact, I have barely even started the Movember stuff, and I apologize for that, but the reality is getting Ravenloft out has just been nuts.
On top of the desk, you find
So I have not had time to work on the Movember stuff yet. I was able to do, I got all, on the Lotro side, I got all the Extra Life stuff done, because nowadays I'm doing 2, which makes it that much more difficult. Oops. So next week, long and short of it, next week is my intention to stay late after work, at least a couple of nights, and get to this stuff. Man, I wish we could find those secret doors. There's a chest in there. Will I be able to do the DPS test kobold thing soon? No. Again, life is keeping me busy. I was going to say kicking my butt, but it's not a nice thing to say. Keeping me busy. I'm hoping to do it. It's going to be next year, though. We'll have to see what I can fit in, because I've got the extra life, the Movember stuff, and because I put tiers of donations for, hey, I'll hang out with you in game, I got like 30 some people to do that with, so that's at least 30 some nights that I'm gonna need, or mostly nights that I'm gonna need to hang out of 365 days out of the year. So that's, I mean, if I do that every week, one a weekend, that's gonna take most of the year to get through. And we'll kind of have to see how that goes. And I just got a lot going on, so I don't know that I'm going to be able to get to that DPS test kobold event. If I can, though, I will absolutely do it. I would love to. That's why you keep a couple spyglasses in the bank? For sure. Ah! Yep, for sure. Oops. No, as a matter of fact, I don't know if there's anything named in that chest or not. I got a couple of pieces of named loot from this quest. But now I can't remember which... No, it was from that chest. Because it was from the named... there's those two named dudes, and there's a chance to get some named stuff in there.
Around here someplace.
There was like a ring, and there was one other thing.
He stinks.
I agree. Strahd's balcony is a great selfie shot. I wish we could have the detachable camera on that area so that people could go and, you know, detach the camera and just kind of take a cool shot with them there. Nice Christmas sweater. Nice. Yeah, I like this Christmas sweater. I saw it at TwitchCon in California, and I was like, that is a sweater I need to own. I think you can get it. It's from like We Love Fine or something like that. I know I've seen is it Matt Mercer? I've seen Matt Mercer wear it on a live stream as well. On Elite, there's a couple of skeletons here that aren't getting into an attackable state correctly. They go all the way down the hall and all the way back before they activate. That's a bug we'll have to work on. Kind of a minor one, though.
The sound of chanting echoes from down the hallway.
So, for those who aren't aware, the bundles that we are offering for Ravenloft, you know, the base collector's ultimate, those are going to stay long term. We do not have a specific pre-purchase package on these. It's just straight up, you know, these are the packages that are going to be available long term.
One must die. One must die. Lorgoth the Decayer, we awaken
I love this.
The red figures vanish.
Lorgoth the Decayer. That's such a great name. It's a little wimpy though. I mean, I'm on normal, but even on Elite it was pretty easy.
You got rid of the monster. Good. Time to sleep.
There's a sudden gust of air.
People have asked me the
As if the
Vistani
entire
Talisman, where do
building
you
let
turn that
loose
in?
a
It's at
sigh.
the other tavern, not the main tavern, but there's a second tavern in Barovia. There's an NPC there that you can turn in these talismans once you've collected enough to get various items. I think that's where you get like what are called the landscape items internally. And the reason I didn't get that last one is it's behind a secret door. Yeah, Blue Water Inn, that's the one. If we get a smaller pack, can it be upgraded? I answered this earlier, but the answer is yes and no. We do not offer upgrade pricing or an upgrade package on the expansions, but if you do choose to purchase another version of the expansion, it will apply to your account correctly.
It's not that my childhood was hard. The villagers tipped their caps to Papa and called him Burgomaster. I lived in a fine house with a father and brother who loved me. Yet, something was missing. Something
Yeah, I am playing just on normal because I just quick rolled a level 10 character, and so I don't have any gear or anything like that, really. If I had real gear, I'd be playing on a higher difficulty. But just because I did this tonight, or today,
feel that none of it is mine.
I decided to go in on easy mode. Cool. Alright, I think that's probably going to wrap it up for the show then today. I will be back on Caneth on Wednesday here, and assuming I get a group together, we'll be running on a more difficulty. Alright, yes, we are not refunding the lower level packs if you buy an upper pack one, sorry. Ravenloft is one of the best stories in D&D, I agree! That's awesome. I would say that we are also working to, I say working as in conceptually we say we're going to do it. Now that Ravenloft is out, once we get through the hotfix and everything like that, we're going to be working on a producer's letter, which hopefully we can get out before the end of the year. Possible it'll go into January, but we'd like to get one out before the end of the year, and that'll talk a little bit about what to expect next. Which, having heard what to expect next... There you go. Alright, thank you very much for watching Friday afternoon. Hope you enjoyed the Vet Status 3 weekend. This goes all the way through to December 17th. Hope you're digging Ravenloft. Keep an eye on social media and the forums for more information about the hotfix, and I will see you next Wednesday right here on Twitch. We do have shows all weekend long. I suspect a lot of Ravenlofting going on. We have got It's Good to Be King on Saturday afternoon, streaming with Even on Sunday evening, and some other shows as well. So just find the full schedule over on twitch.tv/DDO stream. Have fun. I'll see you again soon.